Welcome to Beverly Beach Camptown RV Resort. Celebrating 35 years, single-family owned. They're one of the few resorts in the U.S. situated directly on the ocean with 1,500 linear feet of Atlantic Ocean beachfront for your enjoyment, with attractions like Daytona Beach 30 miles to the south and St. Augustine, the nation's oldest city 32 miles to the north. There are activities to keep everyone busy. They're truly a year-round premier camping destination. So what are you waiting for? Check them out at BeverlyBeachCamptown.com.
Want to take your camping to the next level? Then why not try glamping? Welcome to RV Glamping Adventures, where you can have a little glamour with your travel adventures. Please join your hosts, Neal and Kathy, as they share RV glamping information, RV park reviews, product recommendations, and so much more. Here's Neal and Kathy.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of RV Glamping Adventures with Neal and Kathy. I'm Neal.
And I'm Kathy. And I can't even believe we're sitting here.
Why?
We're back.
Oh, we're back, yeah. I was like,
where
what?
Did the time go?
And we've done a lot of these episodes.
No, yes, I know, but, you know, we're back.
We're back.
And we love our lives, but we love RVing and being out on the road. And you and I, we could have kept going, Neal.
We could have easily kept going. Absolutely.
We've done so much.
We needed to go to work.
We do have to come back and go to work.
We need to work.
And then we're going away again.
We are going. So
a couple more weeks. We had to come back and work for a little bit so our patients don't desert us and go elsewhere. But we had an amazing time.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, we were gone for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, we went down to Florida, spent some time. We're calling this episode Disney and Beyond.
Because this was a big and beyond.
It was a big and beyond, and that's sort of like, what is that? Infinity and Beyond from Toy Story.
Disney and Beyond.
Well, it was just a great trip, and there's so many factors to why. I think this
was one of my favorites.
We said it 50 times. Yeah. We said this is like one of the best trips. And I think it was because, I don't know, all the kids are getting a little older and they just seem to appreciate more and they take things in a whole different way.
Well, they're growing up really nice.
They are.
So I think
we
people
like them.
Very much.
Very much so.
Favorite people. But, I think a lot of people who listen to us, as your kids get older, you can start seeing things. It's not so much like, running around after like 9 and below.
We don't have to be like mommy and daddy and mommy, daddy.
We have conversations with them and we listen to their lives and what their dreams and goals and all that. And it's awesome.
As fast as it went by, and I wanted to slow down time. And, it's weird because the 2.5 weeks ago really does kind of feel like we were gone for 3 months.
Easy,
because we packed in so much. Even though we did a lot of R&R, we got so much stuff to talk to you guys about. We did so much. But yeah, it was the bonding. It was the learning that we all did.
A lot of learning. This was kind of educational. The and beyond was educational.
The and beyond was really amazing for all of us on like a lot of different levels. And it was just an amazing trip. So I think the last show, we'll just sort of pick up from where we left off the last show. We did a podcast, our first stop on the way down after we boondocked at Cracker Barrel.
We did our normal Cracker Barrel.
We drove 16 hours all the way down. We like to get most of the driving done the first day. Yep. And Neal and I take turns. We do I drive 4 or 5 hours. Neal drives 4 or 5 hours, so on. And we always end up at a Cracker Barrel in Georgia that we head for and slept there overnight, did our little boondocking, had our breakfast. It's like a tradition.
I mean, this year was a little different for us, though, because a lot of times when we've gone down, it's been like 72 at night. 73 to sleep.
It was hot.
It was 80 degrees, so we ran that generator
all night.
A
good thing. On our last trip last summer, when it was 103 degrees, we had generator issues. And to keep a 38-foot long RV cool, you do have to run the generator and the air conditioner while you're driving. Oh, yeah. So really, just to add to all the good things that happened on this trip, like really nothing bad happened. We got there safe. The generator worked. Okay, the toilet broke, but we'll tell that story later.
Another one.
That's another story. Nothing we couldn't deal with. Right. But, I just feel like fortunate all over the place. So safe driving down. Me, I always get like, I want to get there and back safe.
It was really good.
And everything was really good.
And we brought our tow dolly this time.
So that was the big thing. And I was a little apprehensive. Not like I was willing to overcome this challenge and get used to it and make it part of our life. But we bought the tow dolly. And we brought down our Kia Soul, and I was a little worried it was going to feel weird driving it. Like, I'm used to driving 38 feet, but I didn't know what that extra, whatever, 6 feet, 7, 8, 9, whatever it is
I think
beyond.
it's an extra 8 feet.
I probably should know that.
Yeah.
But I was comfortable with, I knew what the distance was.
Yeah.
And I used the mirrors, I used the backup.
The backup cameras, side cameras,
and really quickly I got onto it. And I didn't know if it would feel like there was a pull. Nothing like that. And well, at first we had to figure out you actually have to press, in a Class A, there's a tow button that you press on.
I think in all trucks there's a
There must be.
tow haul button. So it's kind of a neat thing. It changes the gear ratio to, basically it helps you to slow down a little bit better. It helps you to...
So the surge brake doesn't go... The noise it makes is like
that
this.
was awful. Yeah.
It was a little alarming at first because I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong?
I don't think you have as much control of what you're towing. At least it didn't. It felt so much better towing.
And it was sort of this random inconsistency kind of
gear shift.
If you're shifting down, sometimes it would happen. Sometimes. So hey guys, learn from us. Press the button.
Press the tow button.
Press the tow button.
It really works.
That is an important aspect.
I don't want to tell you. I did look at some forums because I thought just see what people think about it.
What that was about, yeah.
And everybody who has, even for travel trailers and what's it called, fifth wheels, and people like us who are towing, they most people say use the button. A couple people said that it bothered their gas mileage by like 1 mile per gallon, but. Whatever.
When you're going...
if you're in the mountains of West Virginia, you want control of what you're towing.
You want control. I'm all about control and safety. I don't, I'll pay the extra 20 cents or whatever.
It was ridiculous, but it worked.
So we got down safe, and we had a little add-on to our trip. We decided to leave a little bit earlier. We were fortunate enough to be able to book Beverly Beach Camptown, which, like I said, was where we had our last podcast.
We booked that, what do you think, like 5 months in advance?
Oh, no, that was like 3 months in
3
advance.
months
Because we had it. I'm like, hey, Neal, since we're going down there, I kept looking at these pictures I'd taken from previous trip there, and I'm like, everybody kept saying on these pictures I did of it, oh, you got to go back. They've updated it. I'm like, let's go back. So we added on, it was only a night, but it gave us, basically 2 day and a half.
No, it was a great day.
To hang out and experience what they've done, and just to sort of recap that, guys, if you're down that way, you're on the East Coast of Florida, you can find Beverly Beach. It's near Flagler Beach, which is sort of in between
St. Augustine
and Daytona Beach.
I think so, or Jacksonville and
Daytona. It's in that area. New Smyrna's close by, and it's fantastic. And for us, it's fantastic because when we go there and going forward, we always will get a premium site because you pull into it and you get to overlook the ocean.
Yeah, you have the premium site is awesome because you have water, sewer, and electrical. So you have sewer,
and that's really different because we've done a lot of beachfront type places, and a lot of people have recommended some. And more often than not, there's no sewer hookup. And for us, when there's 5 and 6 people on a trip, we can't keep going and doing a dump. We'd be doing that 3 times a day. And, you can use the bathhouses and all that, but just for convenience purposes, we prefer to just be able to, park it and
do
plug
your thing, it's yours.
And just live.
Yeah.
So, again, the trip, they're just outstanding as far as customer service. We got to interview Toral, who
was so
is
nice.
One of the owners. It's family run. They were celebrating 35 years in business, family owned. And all they've done is just make it better. From when we were there last time, they added a nice part to the break wall, and there's nice
pavers out in front.
So it was grassy before.
You can put your chair right on the pavers to overlook the ocean. It was really nice. Yeah.
You pull up our morning coffee. I had a bit of a, I got totally attacked last time we went by no-see-ums. So I didn't want to go out too early in the morning because I'd read somewhere that may have been why. I think I got about 80 bites. So I had coffee in the morning in the RV, just sitting in the front passenger side. Yeah. And we opened up the windows and just watched dolphins go up and down the beach and the pelicans. And the view is just second to none.
And especially in the morning, there's a lot of guys who go out there and do some fishing.
Yeah, so to watch
that was kind of neat to see.
The whole thing. And the beach is just, I know the town, Toral had told us the...
Beverly Beach,
the town takes care of it. And we'd walk. We're early risers. We walk the beach in the morning, and we got to see. For us up here in Western New York, we don't get to see sea turtles.
No,
and not that we saw the sea turtle, but one morning we went for a walk, and you could see where. I think, Neal, you had thought there's.
I think it was 3-4 feet wide from like foot to foot or flipper to flipper.
Flipper, fin.
However fin.
And you could tell where she had come up from the water. Like this had just happened.
It was fascinating
hours
to see.
before, probably, because it wasn't washed away. It went all the way down the water. You could see how she pushed her way in, where she laid the eggs. They already had that.
They broke that off
section
right
off,
away.
like in seconds, and then you could see another path coming back down where she took herself off and went off into the ocean. And you just sit there going, like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
We told Toril about it, and she even that even excites the people down there because apparently they all work. You know, they're not all on vacation down there.
I was going to tell you,
they don't get to see these things all the time.
Years ago, there's a guy that we know, a friend of ours, used to say, you ever look at, you're on vacation, and you're sitting at a red light, and you're looking at, you know, the guy next to you, and you're expecting he should be happy. You know, he's whistling, he's all happy. No, he's going to work.
Yeah.
You're on vacation, you're whistling, you're happy, but that guy, he's going to work. He's not noticing all this stuff you notice.
Right.
And I'm like,
and I'm not saying,
point.
I mean, everybody was friendly there.
Super friendly. Super friendly. But
but
I think they're very busy.
They're
and
very busy.
They don't go looking at the sea
this
turtles.
Must be, I don't know when they're not busy. Who does, I don't know. There's never a bad time to go to the beach. But so that was like an awesome trip. Now, and you can go, there's premium spots right up by the water.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other side of the road, they have sort of a part two over there where there's seasonal. I mean, even over there, the place is clean. It's
clean.
Well taken
It's
care of.
Really nice.
All they ever do is update and maintain and just, you know, keep in tip-top shape. And again, the customer service, we didn't just talk to the owner. We talked to the other girls there and some of the guys that were working there, and everybody was
Super
friendly and helpful.
And their store.
Oh, they have the best store.
Their store is awesome. They've got everything you need
There's
in
a
the store.
couple like really good stores we've come across. That's one of them.
That's one of them, yeah.
Check out the pictures. It's on Facebook. We did a video, too, that's also on YouTube and Facebook that shows sort of us driving in and hooking up. And, you know, we kind of gave an overview of the whole park so you can get a good feel for it. But, you know, if you're looking for a great beachfront with full hookups, if that's what you're looking to do, that's the place.
That is the place.
Like,
and I think it's
5-star, 2 thumbs up.
I think it's the only one on the East Coast that's like that with full hookups.
I don't know that. That might be a big thing to say.
That is a big one.
You're right. I wouldn't say it's the only one. But for us, the location is great. Now, what we didn't have the chance to do because we weren't there very long, we're definitely going to go back next year when we do this trip, because we're going to be going down there a few times. Obviously, our older son lives down there now.
Yeah, we've got to go visit.
We incorporate, this trip into, we want to see him.
Absolutely.
But everybody wants to go back. They want to go back to Beverly Beach for 3-4 days. And now that we have the tow dolly, and this is our whole thing about and beyond, there's so much to go see. I do want to go to, up to Amelia Island.
Yeah.
We'd like to go down to Daytona and everything in between. There was a town, surrounding that had some local artisans. Like, there's so much more we can do and really spread our wings. Next time we have to make time for that.
I absolutely agree. And I think people who tow cars or have trailers, they're like, duh.
They're like, duh.
That makes sense.
But see, this is like a whole new world to us. And,
You're so much better singer than I am.
Well, I don't know about that. But it will just open up, you can still go back to the same place and have a different experience.
Totally.
Anyway. And we try to do that. That's sort of our philosophy when we travel, is obviously to go to new places too. But every couple of years we want to go back somewhere that we really like.
Kind of refresh it.
And this makes it like a totally different trip because that can be our base. We can enjoy it. But then
years ago, in the past, I think what we would also do is we've always relied on either public transportation or, there's a couple of beaches that we've gone to that we had to just walk. We bought a cart and we walked.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Yeah, it was great.
So we spent a wonderful time there, and then the next morning we took our time and then broke everything down and drove on down to Fort Wilderness at Walt Disney World. Now,
it really wasn't a bad drive.
No.
What was that, like 3 hours?
It wasn't even that long.
I think it was maybe 3.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
That seems, again, so long ago.
But that's not bad for us.
No, it wasn't bad at all. So we got set up. We got to Fort Wilderness sometime around noon or something. Like I said, it's kind of a blur. And this time what we used, I guess we'll just sort of break down the trip like this. Let's start with just talking. We spent 11 days.
11 days. And we got to see our son for 11
Fort
days.
Wilderness. And this time, as opposed to March, he took that whole time off. And it was really great. What we did when we got there and what we've done in the past. So there's enough room. Everybody has their space. As Ian likes us, we brought a new tent. We usually had this older tent. We got a new tent this year because we The other one had it.
It
We
had a
hook it
couple
up
problems.
to our
to it.
glamping when we tent includes in the Florida heat at this time of year, June, July.
There's an air conditioner.
There's an air conditioner.
There is an
so
air
you can
conditioner.
redneck glamp
Yep.
with the air conditioner. And so we got them a new tent because the other one had just had it.
Yeah.
They got that all set up, and we kind of glamped out the site, and we got new mat, and it all looks so nice.
It looked really, really nice.
And then we set everything up probably prematurely for July 4th.
Yeah, that was a little different.
Because we had some rain, and then I think by the time July 4th came around, I'm not so sure it looked that good.
Well, and I think the other thing is, too, some of the decorations we bought were paper.
yeah.
So
I
they
didn't know
got
that. I
beat to
thought they were
death with the
plastic.
rain. So that didn't work out so well.
It looked festive for a little
It
while
did.
anyway.
It did.
But we got all set up, and we basically, out of the 11 days we spent there, I bought 5 days of park tickets.
Right.
And just sort of going through, I mean, there's so much. What you guys need to probably know about Disney right now is it's a real time of transition.
Yeah. I
And
would agree.
there's a lot going on. So we spent 2 separate days at Epcot,
Right.
and then a day each at Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and Magic Kingdom. So what would you say was to you, Neal, like what would you tell people like Magic Kingdom? What seemed different, or what's going on there in your
I
opinion?
think, to me, Magic Kingdom, compared to when we went last, there was last time we were there was in March, and it was everybody's spring break. So
was so crazy.
It was crazy. Like, rides that usually have 20 to 30-minute waits had 90 to an hour,
Yeah,
or
we're talking
90
like
minutes
It's a
to
Small
like
World.
100-minute.
We couldn't even
waits.
get on Small World in March,
Pirates.
or
There's so
Pirates
many.
of the Caribbean.
Haunted Mansion we didn't get out. There's a
So
lot.
we didn't actually end up spending a whole lot of
Yeah.
time in March. So now this time we're kind of itching to, like, even though you've done it a million times,
Yeah,
it's
it's
still
just-
fun,
it's all fun.
to get back on those rides. No, I just mean it seems like with all this transition going on,
Magic Kingdom, I didn't see
they
anything.
did that.
It's been done.
It's been done. They added a lot of stuff over
Yeah.
the last few years and put their money, I feel like, into that.
Yeah.
So we just enjoy what they have, and they kind of have, maintained and added on, like the Mine Train ride, which Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride is always fun. Definitely got a fast pass,
Oh, yeah.
ahead of time. If you're going down, make sure you're getting your dinner reservations.
We actually did lunch and dinner there, so that was nice.
Yeah, so we did
Be our guest for
be
lunch.
our guest for lunch,
Which was
and
really good.
dinner was the first time we ever tried Tony's Town Square, which
And that was good.
Italian. It was nice. It was fine. It was
nice.
convenient.
The waiter was super nice, and it was all good.
Yeah, and but no, I didn't feel like there was as much going on there. At least I
No.
feel like we could breathe this time. Last time was so busy.
I think in a couple of years ago, too, now that you're bringing it up, when that whole mine train area was sectioned off,
Yeah.
there was just a lot of
was very
people.
congested.
Very congested. Now they've opened it up. And so I really think, like, a lot of the transition going on, I'm going to trust Disney.
Yeah,
I feel
they've
like you
had
just
the
have to
foresight
trust that
to
something's gonna
see,
work.
It's always congested, or been in the past congested around the carousel and the mine train and everything. And so that when they opened up, adding where Beauty and the Beast and Ariel's Grotto and the mine train, that really opened up things.
Yeah, it made a big
and
difference.
it does feel less congested over there. And,
Yeah.
and it was a little tired, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's less.
It rejuvenated with
Yeah.
some new rides and some new experiences. So that was a fun day.
Well, Did I mentioned before, I
Yeah.
had read an article not too long ago that Disney put a lot of effort into their movies and their other media is taking on Star Wars and taking on Marvel and all those. And now I think what we're seeing is, like you mentioned, they're doing a lot of work in the parks. We're starting to see more of that work
It's called
going
marketing.
to the park. They're very smart.
It's all
but
called marketing.
They're doing things like
Bringing it all together.
the Marvel, Star Wars, and Avatar into the parks, and it's
Yeah,
all
and
kind of growing.
that's where there's so much transition going on.
Yeah.
Like for us, the last couple times when we've gone to Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, there's a lot of reproducting going on.
Right.
I would say Hollywood Studios, there's a lot shut down. Yet you could see I like the new experiences they have for Star Wars. We're
Right.
nerds. We love Star Wars, so we love
the light
anything.
show at night.
We had really make the time to stay after Fantasmic and just walk
Totally
over
worth it.
by the Chinese theater, and the Star Wars show was amazing.
That was
I
great.
was blown. We didn't get to, I think it rained or something. I don't know. We didn't stay last time, and that was pretty new then.
Mm-hmm.
So to sit and watch that we were like really blown away.
Yeah.
That was really impressive, and it really did.
It did-
bring
it
the
did
movies.
justice.
If you're a nerd like us, like you'd be like, yes.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. But again, and then we did see some changes, like the Toy Story ride. They've added a new track.
Yeah, there's another track.
So that I think there's a specific one just for the fast passes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was a lot of glitchy stuff going on. this year at a few of the
Yeah.
rides. But, they handle it with good customer service.
Their customer service is always great.
And they threw us some tickets. Anybody in line that was waiting on do the fast pass for like Toy Story. That's how we were able to get on to the Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yes, which was a great ride.
Which is always fun.
Yeah.
But you can just see there's a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of changes happening. We're excited to see it down the road, and you just have to kind of go and be patient.
Yeah, that's what I agree. I agree.
And just know that going into it. Know it's always Disney, and it's busy and it's crazy, and just deal.
I mean, when you look at things like what they did with the Star Wars show and how they're changing the Star Wars ride, and what they've already done with Ariel's Grotto and all that area, I feel hope. I think it's going to be it's going to work out
I'm
really well.
interested to see. What I do miss is when you walk in, there isn't an iconic thing.
I miss the hat.
There's no hat at Hollywood Studios. There's
Studio.
no the mouse ears are gone over by the backlot tour.
Yeah, that's
there's just no iconic.
Is the backlot tour still gone?
No,
that's gone too, right? Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot closed down. There was enough to do in the day, and then we go back. And Neal and I were actually saying this afternoon around 2:30 we got tired because that has been our nap time for the last 2.5 weeks.
And people need naps. I
think we need to bring that into our society.
I would love that.
In a better place, because naps. Why we fought them as children, I have no idea.
No idea.
A nap every day on vacation is really, really worthwhile.
From 2 to 4, everything should shut down,
Yeah.
and we get naps.
A little nap, and then
I'm
go
okay
back to
with
work
that.
later.
Yeah.
And that's how we do our day. Like to go and do straight, we've gone a lot, but kids are older. We don't need to go and do the parks all day.
No.
We'll go for a little bit in the morning, grab lunch, or go back there if you get lunch, go have our nap, rest, and everybody chills out because, in June, July, it's hot, guys.
It's hot. And this was a hot one.
It was a hot one. And so you go and you just know that. You keep hydrated.
Yeah.
You go back, you take a break. Sometimes you jump in the shower or the pool, and then you can go back to it later when it cools down in the evening. And that's sort of how we do it. So as people are always like, how do you guys do it? It's so crazy there. But we don't take that pace.
No.
We really kind of slow it down.
We march to our own beat.
Yeah. So
how's that sound?
Well, I guess. Beat of whatever drummer.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to go like boom, boom, boom and run around.
No.
It's,
and, the other thing I want to add in here, too, is the thing, we learned something really new on this trip. But again, the Disney and Beyond part for us was that bringing that car.
That car was huge.
We, every year, have gone down and really relied on, again, the transportation Disney provides, which is phenomenal.
It's always good.
And we've always rented a golf cart. And this year we did that, but we brought our car and Ian had his car. And after a couple days, we're like, what are we doing?
Right.
This is a waste of money. And we called them, and they return it and return your money. And you know what? It saved us about $430 or $440.
That's pretty good.
And although I'm sure Billy missed having her cart rides, we
Wow.
could take her in the car and put the window down and just drive around.
Well, normally, what Kathy's referring to is we'd usually take Billy for a cart ride.
Our
dog Billy for a cart ride, which she loved, and we go looking at all the different trails and go around. And a couple times she's seen turkeys and deer and gotten super excited.
It's really fun to do, and everybody, especially for holidays like 4th of July, everybody decorates. There's a parade. But it just didn't, for us, we try to glamp on a budget too. It's more for less. And I just thought, what are we doing? Like, here we just bought this tow dolly. We've got 2 cars there. Why are we spending money on this thing?
And we were in the 400 loop, so we were pretty much...
which, by the way, that's a great loop,
That's
guys.
a great
400 is a good one.
We were probably, like a quarter mile to the pool, a quarter mile to the boat.
All places.
It
when
was
we go,
very
we want to stay
convenient.
active and moving and all of that. So it made us walk a lot more.
We walked a lot.
And Neal, I got to tell a funny story. Right before we left was Father's Day, and also coincides with Neal's. It's always around your birthday.
Yes.
Although you always think it's the same day.
But I've been told this year, and that's
maybe every 7 years, it's on the same day. But what he wanted was one of the what do you call them?
I got a Fitbit.
The Fitbit. And now it's become a ridiculous obsession.
Which I'm okay with.
So the whole time he's keeping his heart rate and how many steps. We walked, seriously, guys, we walked up to 22,000 steps most days.
My heart rate is 70 right now.
We
if
each
anyone
lost
cares.
a couple pounds.
We did.
And but yeah, you have been. Then you also got obsessed with knowing how many hours you were sleeping at night.
Which last night was 7.
See,
but
it was, and then you included nap time. Then I slept. I'm like, this
8.5
is
hours
nuts.
one day. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh!
No, mostly. But anybody who's got a Fitbit, I'll tell you, I love it just for the fact that I'm able to stay active. I know how much I'm moving, and we were walking anywhere from, what'd you say, 24,000 to, I think the lowest we did was like 14,000 steps. So that's like 6 miles to almost 11 miles.
Yeah, we did a lot of walking
daily.
And that's a huge thing for us. When we go, we want to be exercising, and part of RVing for us.
We did run.
Well, we ran when we could. Other days, when we knew we'd be doing 11 miles, I said, no, we're not running today. We could just walk. But you and that watch, it was driving me crazy. Okay, so back to the parks, though. So we did Hollywood Studios.
But let me just say thank you for it, because I love it.
You're very welcome. Back to the parks, though. We were at Hollywood Studios, and then another day we did that. There was a lot of changes, like Hollywood Studios. Animal Kingdom is the other one.
Oh, Animal Kingdom's a lot different.
So much going on there. Yeah. Again, sort of a rebranding going on.
A lot of cranes and activity going on.
Yeah, you could see they're adding in a whole Avatar land, which, I mean, that's for me. I'm all about change, and we go with the change, and change can be good. Avatar was okay to me, and I'm waiting to see. I'm sure it will be visually unbelievable.
I think for some people,
I don't get the draw. It wasn't to me like, Star Wars I get.
Yeah.
I don't know that I get Avatar, so I'm going to have to hold
Star
out.
Wars, Star
I'm going to hold
Trek.
out judgment on that.
But Avatar was not.
I
it was
know.
Okay. But you know what?
I would even take
complain
Titanic Land more than that. I don't get.
I can do that.
I like James Cameron, but come on, I didn't get the Avatar
There's
thing.
I think it's like the #1 grossing movie of all time.
Again, confused.
Yeah, I was when I saw it.
I'm sorry if you disagree. We can agree to disagree. It was okay.
But visually,
sure.
This is going to be an amazing part.
I would think so. So I'm going to hold out judgment for that.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll go and check it out. But the rest of it, what we really took more from this trip was going more in the evening, because they've added in hours at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're open till I think 11 now.
Yes, on some days. So there's two nighttime shows.
Yeah.
I think that was the music was great. The dancing was great.
Yeah.
I think it's a good start.
Yeah.
It needs some more. I don't know. It was a little flat.
It was a little flat.
But it was still cool. Like, here we were walking around at night, had a whole different vibe.
And then we did the, what's it called? I always miss the name of it up. The Safari. Kilimanjaro Safari.
We'd had gone earlier that afternoon, and I honestly I didn't see any more animals. No. It was pretty dark. But we're like, well, this is cool.
But it was a different experience just being there at night, I guess. But
yeah. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
I'd say go try it once.
Yeah.
See what you think. But walking around there at night's pretty cool. The tree of life is lit up. That's pretty.
Walking through Africa was cool. They had a lot of singers and the gymnastic guys. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. They had a whole dance party going on over in Africa. So, it's just got a different vibe at night, So that was pretty cool. So, and then Epcot. We always spend 2 days at Epcot. To us, that's our family's favorite park.
Yeah, everybody loves Epcot.
Not tons going on except poor Norway.
Yeah, Norway got the shaft on this one with the whole Frozen experience.
The Frozen thing, which I know was huge.
Yeah, but as a country, Norway exists.
I'm sure it's not
I don't
all
remember
about
the name
Frozen.
Of what's the country of Frozen?
Forget.
I want to say Rivendell, but I think that's Lord of the Rings. So.
I don't know, but it's, and that, I always find rides that in the first year at Disney, they can get a little glitchy when they're new rides.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get on Frozen.
No.
If, Fast Passes came out after we already had our Fast Passes. We couldn't change them. But even the people couldn't get on their Fast Passes because it kept breaking down.
Kept breaking, yeah.
So I'm going to think next year we'll just go and experience, because we loved Maelstrom.
But
so we're just a little sore that that's gone.
Ian has his Fast Pass for August already.
Yeah, so
for Frozen. He's like, I'm going to wait until give it a month and see what happens.
Let them work out the glitches.
Yeah.
So overall, the parks were as always fantastic. And I can't not bring up that the week before we went down, some very, very sad news. I don't want to dwell too much on it with sad news, because I really try to keep our podcast positive, but I think you can't not mention that, a sad situation happened for a family that lost their child before we got there. And unfortunately, something tragic had happened a few years before when we had gone. Things happen, and, they're a magical place, but it's life, and sad things happen and tragedies happen and lives get lost and things like that. And we knew of this before we went down, the sad news about the alligator, and I don't want to get into too much detail, it just depresses me. But we decided we were going to go down and just try to make the best out of, we kept them in our heart, that family in our hearts.
Thought about them all the time.
The whole time, because that energy was there.
Yeah.
That sadness was there. It was
for us.
It was everywhere, though. You could tell the employees were hurting.
Yeah.
You could see the signs, because Disney had already put up fences on all the beaches.
And I think, and when we came in, our the lady who checked us in, the first thing she handed us, and she goes, there are wild animals.
Yeah,
there are snakes and alligators.
And it was just this unsaid
But they've never done that before, and we've always known it in the past, but we've never. They came out and said it.
That they had to say that.
But they addressed an issue. That's the thing. They addressed it,
and maybe too late.
Yeah.
I don't know what all led up to it. But I just wanted to mention that, and the best thing I could think to do in honor of that was just to appreciate our family and
appreciate
be
our kids.
Grateful that we are so fortunate that we can take this time to be together, but our heart does go out to that family.
And also the week that same week there was also the Orlando shooting.
Yeah.
So there were signs everywhere for Pray for Orlando.
I know. Just driving into Orlando, there was rainbows, flags everywhere.
Signs all
Pray
over.
It just was a sad place, and so we were going to go down there and just try to bring some happiness.
But the thing is, nobody that we saw, everybody was lovely, gracious, friendly. Everybody. I think that both incidents touched a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know it touched us, but everybody was. We're getting through this.
Yeah.
And resilient. I think the people that we met, because this is Disney and Beyond. We left, and the people we met in Orlando were just very, very nice. And the people who live there and work there and call it Orlando home, like our son, it was a touching. It was a touching place.
It was a tough couple weeks and continues to be. And I certainly hate. I in no means want to get political or anything, but there's been some tough news lately, and you can go on vacation and try to get away from all of that. But it's still, you have social media, so it's everywhere, and there's just a lot of divisive things going on right now. And the one thing I just want to put out there, because Neal and I really are here to try to inspire and give hope and just put out good vibes to the universe. And, really, the thing is, when there is tragedy, we really got to come together, and maybe hug your loved ones a little bit tighter. Whatever you need to do out of negative, always try to make a positive. So that's just how we try to deal with the tragedies that were going on down there, and just enjoy.
Love builds love.
Yeah, and you can never lose with that. So, we just wanted to go down there, and really, the thing about vacation is you get to take time to reflect.
Yeah, and in this one we connected, too, with our children.
Even more.
And there was a lot of what we've noticed, and I think people who have kids that are our kids' ages and older, and I think I've said this already, they are people with opinions, and really good, strong opinions, and very compassionate and very loving people. Passionate.
So, you know what? In the midst of all that stuff going on, and there was so much going on in the news, it also was a great opportunity to just talk and share opinions.
And learn from them and their opinions.
Learn together. And this trip was so much more beyond. That's why we call it Disney and Beyond. Not just that we got to go to Disney, and then to take the car and go beyond Disney and the walls of Disney. But it was so much more of a trip for us than there's ever been.
And this is going to sound...
Probably because of what was going on in the world.
Probably,
I don't know.
Probably. But I also think some of it is our environment that we're in. We're staying in our motorhome. And so nobody's on top of each other.
But we're together.
We're together.
Whether you want to be or not.
And you're going to get to know your siblings for our kids, and you get to know our kids for us a lot different in different ways, and see them a lot. So, the thing with the RVing is, it does inspire families to be a lot closer because you're physically closer.
And we don't all see eye to eye. We had strong discussions about different things that we all didn't agree on. Yeah. And I sort of look at Neal, I'm like, where did they get these opinions? And and everyone, I have to say, they're compassionate and loving and all of that. So I'm happy with that they've come to their own decisions on things, but it's positive.
Yes.
It's positive and I mean, I'm a social worker at heart. That's what I did for a long time as a living, and so I wanted them to be raised to be compassionate human beings.
Yeah, and they are. That works.
So it's good to see that.
You've
but
succeeded.
in also in that, when we talk about the beyond, is we had these amazing opportunities to learn.
Yeah.
Just by experiencing some different things that, we got a serious education.
We really did. This was like...
It was crazy.
This was, we had our time and fun at Disney, and it was great. And I just also want to say...
But it was mixed in with so much other learning. It was amazing.
People always ask me, and I've heard this, why do you always stay at Disney? And for us, in our experience, it's a top-notch campground. So that was our home base on this trip, and I think that was a great way for us it's essentially located and then branch out.
Yeah.
And so we only went to the parks 5 days, but we spent.
But and a couple hours each day, and then Ian's been down there for 6-7 months, so he was able to we were able to go try some other foods, different restaurants.
We went to one of his favorite restaurants, and we
found this really great.
It was very good.
Pho, also called Pho, We Love a Noodle Bowl. And he took us out to where he found that he loves to go eat. And but I wanted to do some things outside the box on this trip.
Oh, so this was an outside the box trip. Our
first, I think, big outing adventure was going to a sign I've always seen on the way down is Gatorland, and I've always wanted to go to Gatorland. So
we went to Gatorland.
We went to Gatorland. Everybody, I think, thought, "What are we doing, Mom?" Because this was my fandangled idea.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of research on it, and then when you look at it, I never want to do some experience like your typical experience. I want to find some different angle to it if I can, especially since the kids are older.
I know you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went looking at Gatorland.
You're very thoughtful about these things.
That's how I found out they have a zip line.
It was a zip line course. It was awesome.
So I want to say there were 7 different zip lines, and I was like, well, maybe they're kind of kiddie. I don't know, whatever. We'll go have fun. We ended up connecting with a couple friends of ours that were also down there at the same time. And what did you think?
I thought it was awesome.
You were kind of blown away.
I was blown away. I love zip lining, period. The few times I've gotten to do it, I know you've done more, but it makes me want to do rope courses and all that stuff. I love to climb and all that stuff. But going zip lining over alligators, it's
like a once in a lifetime kind of experience.
It was amazing, and
it was no joke.
Our guides
were really
awesome.
Intense.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't say intense, but they were.
You got some height and some speed.
Yeah, you were up a couple stories. They start you off somewhat lower. You're still up a couple stories. And it got further and higher as you went along, and then there was a bit of a ropes course in that. There was a rope ladder you had to cross, and that was a challenge.
The rope ladder was the hardest part.
Because it was you and the rope ladder, and it was very long, and you had, you're just sort of hooked to it, but if that hook goes, that's what's holding you in.
Well, and one of our guides was bouncing on the end of it.
Well, there was that. He was bouncing on it. But we had really great guides, and you know what I love about a ropes course? I used to help run one that we had when I was working in the foster care world. And it's a really great challenge, and it really puts you outside of your comfort zone, outside of your box. So I really thought, what a great way to see this
amazing
zoo.
Park, yeah.
And, I got to say, the one thing about zoos for us that are important are the animals are well taken care of, that they're clean. And it was all of that. They all seemed to be very caring of the creatures there.
Yeah, there was no gator smell, which I don't even know what that would be.
I don't know what that is.
But it was a very clean, very nicely run park.
Yeah,
and the alligators, they were big.
They were there for education, and the alligators had some room. They got it was no joke. There were some big ones there. You had to respect.
There was one that was that had to stay by itself because they found it probably about 5-6 years ago. It was a dog stealer.
Yeah.
So things we don't worry about in Western New York. But it was known to have taken some dogs, and instead of putting it down, they brought it to the park. But it didn't play well with other alligators.
Yeah.
So it was by itself, and it was enormous in a nice pen. They gave it plenty of room. Yeah. I mean, it was just...
Yeah, I thought they ran it really well.
They did a great job.
Some zoos are...
They did a great job.
I do respect the zoo aspect of the education piece, and as long as there's land for them to roam, and they really did. They had a lot of free range in these things. Yeah. But I loved seeing each of the kids, plus us, and our friends.
Oh, our friends.
Challenge. Like, everybody's trying to act cool as a cucumber, but everybody was sweating it.
Oh, yeah.
Not just because it was hot.
No, there was some fear going. And I didn't realize that our friend that we came down with, Brian, that he and his wife and his daughter met us there.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how afraid he was until
we heard
after
later.
it was done. He goes, I was scared to death.
Yeah.
And then our guide was awesome because she hooked him up and he was getting nervous, and then she pushed him off. And just as he was leaving, she goes, Hey, wait a minute, come back, I forgot.
No, don't go.
And then he goes,
he'd already gone.
And he just looked like he was white as a ghost. And
Yeah.
I peed.
I
thought it was
up.
hysterical. Yeah.
But what I loved is, like, even our oldest, he usually kind of, he's that computer nerd kind of kid.
He's a little introverted.
And he really let loose.
Oh,
They, just each of them, Mitchell, Connor, they each let their sort of adventurous side come out. And, here's Olivia, our youngest and only girl. And I've always wanted, our goal with her and with all the kids, but especially as our daughter, we want to raise her to be a strong female. And confident. And so to watch her, she became really fearless doing this. So I really
But the car ride over, I kept hearing,
nervous.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
I'm kind of nervous. No, I want to do this.
No,
I don't.
Yes, no, yes,
and
no.
She was so proud of herself for doing it. And again, just stepping outside the box. So I feel like each one of us were left with that we learned something more about ourselves. And it brought us together as a family because we had to cheer each other on and you can do it and yahoo, good job. And so there was a lot of encouragement and there was a lot of confidence gained in that day.
I would agree.
So that was
and then there was a race at the end.
Then we had a race at the end so everybody could challenge somebody to race to the end. And people were just, by that point, you'd done it all. This was like no big deal. And you just kind of flew yourself out there. It was really fun. So
she beat me.
And there were discounts too. Like we saved money. I'd bought tickets ahead of time. They ended up giving me $100 back because there was different
Ian was
prices.
A Florida resident.
They had Florida residents, and then they gave something with the kids, and they gave the money back. So I was just like, what? So that was like
super
that
nice
paid
place.
for dinner.
Yeah,
that
and if you're a Florida resident, go to Gatorland. Go to Gatorland.
I mean, and the zip line plus the entrance full price was $69.99. I think it was a great deal. If it was an afternoon, you could spend hours there, and the zip line experience alone took a couple hours.
It was at least 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and the guides were phenomenal, and they taught us stuff about the alligators all along the way. And
there was one that was in Lake Placid, the movie.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was just a really fun day. I think everybody was like, "Oh my god, that was so fun!"
Yeah.
Like they had no idea. So I was pleasantly surprised as well. Now, I think the biggest wow factor for us
huge.
was. I hadn't been there since I was 8 years old, and none of you guys had ever
Never
gone.
been.
Was NASA.
Kennedy Space Center was incredible.
Was amazing.
It was incredible.
Again, wouldn't have been able to do this without the car.
Well, and you thought we would do this in like 2 hours. We weren't really
I thought
sure.
we'd get in and out of there. I didn't really remember it, and I certainly didn't know the amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, out of most things we did down there, this has got to be one of the top things we did. You and I learned.
Oh, I learned
Never
so
mind
much, right?
Like what
Didn't
the
you?
kids learned.
Yeah.
We walked away. I was
blown
completely
away.
blown away by that, because we ended up spending the day and we didn't even leave till dinner time.
Yeah.
Because there was so much to
I think we got there at
and
9:30 and we left at 5.
something like that.
Something like that. It was
we
a
didn't
long,
get back
long
to
day.
there till 6, and it was about an hour away. Now, the one thing I would do different with all this traveling we did was the Sun Pass.
Yeah.
When you go down to Florida, if you're going to be driving around, go to like a CVS or someplace like that and get a Sun Pass, because Florida doesn't have any.
I think they have them in all the grocery stores.
Yeah, they're around.
They're all over the place. The Sun Passes.
Like you get your Easy Pass, that kind of thing. So you can go and get it, and it cuts there's no state tax in Florida, but they get you coming and going.
Yeah.
And we had to pay so much in tolls all the time.
No state income tax.
Right. So they get you coming and going, though, and you might be driving down the road, and then you have to pull over here because you got to pay to toll.
Here's another $1. Here's another $1.50.
And if you rent, and some don't have change, and it's so that would be something.
We had a 50, and we tried to go to. We were able
all
to
we
scrounge.
had was a $50 bill.
All we had was a 50, and we or 50s, but we were trying to pay at one place, and the lady's like, I can't break it. I'm going to have to make you it insufficient. I'm like, but we have money. And we were able to scrounge change.
At the bottom of the car.
Went to the second one. Same thing happened. The third one, the lady's like, oh, let me make you change.
Yeah.
No big deal.
But no, next time, definitely Sun Pass.
Yeah,
but anyway, so going.
And Ian had mentioned that.
Yeah, I didn't listen to him then either. But so we got to Kennedy Space Center, And I mean, from the moment you drive in, it's just a wow. It's
it was amazing. It was amazing.
The price is good. They don't have any discounts. Maybe military.
No, maybe military, maybe senior, but I don't really know.
That was it.
There was nothing for us.
No, we did not
Nothing
get that.
for us.
But every penny, what was it, about $50 a person?
It was $50 a person.
And it was worth every penny.
It was amazing. Yeah.
You walk in, there's IMAX. There was a dedication going on in the area.
It looks like they're building a new building.
Yeah. But you can just go walk around all the rockets that are out there and just take pictures, and then you go into all these different experiences. And we did what we could do, but what our group really wanted to get to was getting on the bus that takes you. They offer a complimentary bus service that will take you on a tour. And this is where we realize we are the stupidest people that we know.
Well, yes.
Well,
we are the most uninformed about.
Well, and you think we try to be, and I just think.
I mean, we're nerds.
Yeah, you would think we know about the space stuff, but I really think the media has done a pretty shameful job over the years.
I mean, some of the things, I know I'm cutting you off, but 133 space flights on the shuttle. Didn't know that.
Right. So we got out there, and I was just blown away by how much wasn't presented to the public. Not that it wasn't presented, that I don't know that the media cared.
I think they stopped, it felt
Somehow going to space became less interesting.
It was like the back page.
When we learned about the Atlantis flight, we were thinking, or the space shuttle, we were thinking there was maybe it went up 3 or 4 times. 33. 33 just for that
crazy.
One. And so total, how many, Neal, when all the space shuttles?
133.
Okay.
That blew me away. I didn't know that.
What happened that this became not interesting?
Yeah.
And then that all we focused on was the Columbia and the Challenger tragedies. And by the way, they did such a nice job
of beautiful memorial.
Memorializing the individuals that were lost on those terrible things. Like the situation is incredibly tragic, but unfortunately you're dealing with rockets.
Yeah.
And the other thing we learned too was just how much we've gained in knowledge outside of what were they saying, from all of this development in space.
There's a lot of technology that came out of the Apollo programs.
Cell phone,
solar batteries.
Yeah,
Solar
so much
batteries
has come out of all of this. And what we didn't realize, especially driving around, and what the tour guide, she kind of gives you, the gal we had gives whole, there's so much going on with private
there's still some stuff coming up.
I really thought they defunded stuff and there wasn't much happening. Meanwhile, I didn't know there was this whole other movement of SpaceX, and it's a fine...
Boeing, too,
There's
right?
Boeing is there, Lockheed Martin... and what came out of all of that was watching our 3 kids, the one that's currently employed in that field and the 2 that want to be, and watching their brains, like smoke coming out of their ears. How do I get into this?
Yeah, that was amazing.
And I feel like that day touched us all in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Like you and I were just like, oh my gosh, how little we knew about what was going on. And I was, I don't know, disappointed is the word maybe I'm looking for. I felt like, what a shame we didn't put more stock into this as a society and that we weren't paying attention.
I agree with you.
And yet, watching our kids go, I think this could have been a life-changing moment for some. I think a couple of them.
I mean, you look
as far as their careers.
Like people who were alive watching TV and were in school during the Apollo programs, from all the way from the beginning to when they landed on the moon. That was everybody would sit around the television and watch it. Everybody knew the astronauts' names, and they knew what was going on. It was like a big kind of a thing, and we lost that a little bit. Yeah,
and so I felt like, I don't know, shame on us, disappointed. Why didn't we know this? And yes, you knew about Columbia and Challenger, but I feel like maybe other people did. And what changed for me that day is I added something new to our bucket list. You did too with me.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we're posting stuff on Facebook about this, and we got so many comments because people that had been there were like, it's amazing. This one gentleman, he's like, you've got to be there to watch a rocket launch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to be. That became bucket list.
Oh, that's happening.
It's happening.
That's happening.
Just to see that. And there was one going up in this month in July, but we were there, actually, it was still June, I think, when we were still there. And
there's a whole calendar that they have that you can go on.
Because there's so much going on.
NASA
so it tuned in Olivia. Now she's got an app on her phone that she especially, and I want to see her go into science and math, because like that's something she's really strong at. And I'm watching her and Connor, who wants to get into engineering as well, talk to their brother who's in that field. And he has the opportunity to go there if he wanted. And just watching them talk about this and think they could be a part of this.
Yeah.
This may have changed the trajectory of maybe some direction they were heading to, like, no, they're going to do something in this field.
Amazing.
It was just sort of cool to stand back and watch all that, you know, and just be there. And I think the coolest thing for me was I'd lost Neal, and a couple of our friends were there as well. And we went through the final thing I really wanted to see before we headed out was to see the Atlantis. And a lot of things there are, you go through this movie, which it really brings you into it. So you start and you don't go right in to go see the space shuttle. You start watching this movie of what was happening at the time. And then you go into this next room where it's sort of all around you. There was sort of like a circle vision-y kind of effect to it. And then the whole room goes dark and all you see is like this see-through-y kind of filmy curtain thing in front of you. And there's the space shuttle. And it's just there, and there's light on it, and your breath. Like, I got tears in my eyes.
The one hanging up.
Yes.
That was amazing.
And then it opens, and you walk in. And then I found, and I know you guys got to just go right in
We got
and
separated for a second, so they went into the movie.
But you missed that.
We bypassed the movie to
Like
make sure that we could
goosebumps.
Yeah, we missed a big thing.
It was just that build-up. And then it makes you appreciate that thing was in space 33 times.
And when you look at that thing, it wasn't as big as it you would think it was, but it was amazing.
It was overwhelming.
It was overwhelming.
It was like...
The space shuttles were amazing.
Yeah, and I found the mood in that room, and I mean, it's this huge space, and there's just floors of things to look at and read, and...
A simulator.
And, I'm also Canadian, so to see the arm come out, and just... I don't know, it was just really... I was really
has a
proud.
Canadian...
Oh, yeah. I took pictures.
I know.
I was just really proud from both countries of something that they came together. And again, like you talk about sort of all the divisive stuff that's happening in the world, like space can really bring, if we can do this right, it could really bring, brings countries together now, even on the space station.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just opened up a lot of thoughts and stuff for me.
It's
and
pretty
watching
cool.
The kids, it was really cool.
I like seeing like the SpaceX that they're with the Elon Musk and Tesla, that they're having private individuals going up there, because I think in some ways government would be pretty hard to run with sometimes with budgets and whatnot, and we need more money. We're not going to give you more money,
efficient.
Right? So I think seeing like with what they're doing and the technology, where they're trying to get rockets to be able to land, so they're not just a one and done rocket; they're going to be usable again. And I think
that's similar. I think to like what they were doing with the space shuttle, they would reuse them.
Yeah,
and
this
that
is
led
like
to some problems, but
So,
but it was
just pretty cool.
Gosh, we learned, and then just to be there, especially when we're touring around on the bus, to go see what the launch pads, the sheer size of things. I think that was it was the scale of the size of things that blew my mind. Or the what do they call the building?
The launch.
No, where they put it all together.
Oh, the assembly.
The assembly building.
Oh,
my God.
The garage door is like 127 feet tall or
just
something.
The NASA sign on it was as big as a football field.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I mean, it just the whole day was... I was speechless, which is really hard to believe.
The transporter to bring things over to the launch pad, which takes 8 hours... 2 drivers. It weighs like 9 million pounds or something ridiculous.
Crazy.
And I think it goes like 3 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But it would take them forever to get this enormous ship over to the launch pad. I thought with just the truck that they used.
It was just, guys, if you're down that way,
you gotta go.
You gotta go.
Gotta go.
Take your kids, take your grandkids, go learn something for yourself. It was just...
totally worth it.
I can't even... There's just no words for it.
No.
It was overwhelming. It was awesome. we were really left kind of speechless. And we all left going, that was so much cooler than we thought it was.
Yep.
I mean, we knew it was going to be a cool day, but again, we thought we'd be going to Cocoa Beach in the afternoon because we're down that way. So 2 thumbs up on the Nassau thing. Believe me, you won't.
Loved it.
Yeah, you
Absolutely
won't be disappointed.
loved it. Yeah.
So we had to make another trip out that way because we still really wanted to go back to Cocoa Beach.
Well, yeah, Cocoa
'Cause we
Beach looked awesome.
Again, I'd been there as a kid, and it was one of those things I just sort of wanted to go back to.
Yeah.
And I know people can say a beach is a beach, but, every beach is different. It has a different sort of flavor, vibe, whatever. So we went, a couple days later, we went back out with the cars again and went through Port Canaveral, saw the cruise ships, which just in itself was really cool.
And just
Cocoa
the
Beach
size
was,
of cruise ships.
Oh
though.
my gosh, yeah, there was one of that, what was that one of the sea?
Freedom of the Seas.
Freedom of the Seas was there.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
was huge.
And so then we drove right next town is Cocoa Beach, and we found a really awesome place on TripAdvisor, Epic Burrito. If you go to Cocoa Beach, go eat at Epic Burrito.
You gotta go. It's so good.
Just shout out to you guys. Best tacos and everything else.
I had a quesadilla, and it was really
everything
good.
was good.
Yeah.
And then we spent the whole afternoon at the beach. And again, for me, when I was a kid, when I was there with my brother, we got to meet a guy who actually did competitions for sandcastle building. And he showed there's something about the sand at Cocoa Beach that it's very almost a muddy texture to it when it's wet that you can just sort of put it in your hands and you dribble it. And this is how he made this massive sandcastle, and he showed us how to do it. It was just like this really cool memory I had. So I had to go back and feel it. And it's still the same.
And there was somebody making a sandcastle.
Yeah.
It was a little one. But
and Ian found a really good spot for us to park. We didn't have to pay to park, and it was a quieter part of the beach. Like nobody was really there. It was sort of a family Sunday day. There was music going.
Yeah,
it was just really great
it was
day.
Great.
And when I say a beach isn't just a beach, every beach is different. It has its own characters.
Yep.
It has, some have piers, some don't. Some are selling stuff here, some are selling stuff there. There was one guy who was rolling up and down the beach on this sort of windsurf thing on wheels.
Like a
He's coming and going like a
parasail.
well,
Yeah,
it wasn't a
I don't know.
parasail. It was like a windsurf board
Yeah.
on wheels going up and down. It was just so chill.
He was strapped in and everything. He was going
so
fast.
Cool.
It was cool.
And you just see the kids ended up going out in the water.
Yeah.
They had a blast, and it was just another really, really good day.
I think when we got there, they were like, I don't want to go out in the water.
Yeah,
I'm just going to be cool.
We're cool, and they were gone in seconds and spent the whole afternoon out there. So, every beach is a little different. This had this pier we always love to walk up and down the beach and collect shells or whatever. And it was just a really fun afternoon.
And the tide was out just a little bit, so we were able to see like the barnacles growing on the pier, which was
icks me out.
Yeah, it was
time.
kind of
but we got some pretty cool pictures.
Very
I'll
Pirates of
post
the
those.
Caribbean, the first movie kind of thing.
Yeah, but it felt good to go back. The beach to me is very therapeutic and healing, and the kids just have fun. I don't care that they're 13 to 22. It's fun to see them out there playing in the water still, all 4 of them together.
Yeah, they had fun.
It was awesome. And that was sort of coming to the close of that part of our trip.
Yeah.
And there was still, like, the cool thing, we were going to be having to say goodbye to Ian because we were there for 4th of July. We actually spent 4th of July at Epcot. And
we had really good seats for the fireworks.
We did. You got to go to Japan.
Go sit down in Japan.
Those are the best seats. But, that was, Ian had to go back to work the next day, and we were going to be heading off to D.C. So we're going to save that for next week's episode because there's so much more with what happened. It was almost like its own vacation in itself, the D.C. trip, and coming home. We had some interesting experiences on that. So I hope that this has encouraged you to get out there, make some plans, go RVing, make some memories, because we sure did. We sure learned a lot.
It was a great trip.
About ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, a lot of stuff. Space and everything. Space and beyond. This was Disney Space and Beyond. So we will get back to you guys next week. Have a great week. Enjoy your summer, and we'll see you next week. How do they get a hold of us, Neal?
That's what I was going to say. They have to get us hold of us through. You could email us at rvglampingadventures@gmail.com. You can check out Kathy's great blogs at www.rvglampingadventures.com. You can find us on Twitter at rvglampers, and also Instagram at rvglampers, or rvglampers is Instagram.
Yeah.
And we love hearing from you guys, and thank you very much. Have a great week.
Bye. Colton RV creates fantastic memories that will change your life forever. Have you dreamed of getting into glamping in your own RV? Colton RV can help you take that step into the future with a new or used RV. Talk with a Colton RV team member online, by phone, or in person and see hundreds of RVs, from tent trailers to motorhomes and everything in between. It's all about great selection, unequaled service, and low prices. Open late at 2 convenient locations, one in Tonawanda and one in Orchard Park, New York. Now is the time to see the future at Colton RV.